Sir, what? Don't you think we're being a little bit too literal? No, you fool. He told us to comb the desert, so we're combing it. You found anything? Not yet, sir. You? Not a thing, sir. How about you? Anything? Sir, we ain't found.
The funny thing is you're not even reading that from anything. Oh, I love Spaceballs.
Yes.
Spaceballs, the movie.
Spaceballs, a flamethrower. The kids love that.
Oh, man.
The most rewatchable
Yeah.
comedy.
Yeah, isn't that what we deemed it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it that or Men in Tights?
Men in Tights was second.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny, the two Mel Brooks movies. And the two movies that I feel like I grew up watching a ton. So obviously it has to do with our our time in life that we deem it as such. Otherwise, if we were older or younger, we might have said otherwise.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, here's the scary thing. Had we grown up any differently, I think the most rewatchable movies probably would have been Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, that's true.
That did go pretty far, though.
Yeah. Well, I just remember, so there was he was younger than me. I was working with this one younger guy. I want to say he was probably at least maybe 10 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
We were going around talking, everybody's saying their favorite movie as a get to know you kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, Rush Hour 2 is his favorite movie. And I was just like, I don't even remember Rush Hour 2. I remember Rush Hour 1 very vividly.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, what is Rush Hour 2? And I haven't ever gone back to see what it is. I'm like, but that's your favorite movie?
I remember when I went to your, after I got home, I went to your movie case, and there was a couple movies, and I was just like, okay, I don't know what Eight-Legged Freaks are. Then there was the other Arquette one with the wrestling.
Oh, I love that one, Ready to Rumble.
And I'm like, I don't know about that
I had
one.
Eight-Legged Freaks. Oh, man. What did I have that for? I must have got it for free.
And then,
Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah.
and then I saw that you had Rush Hour 2, and I'm like, oh, there's a Rush Hour 2.
Yeah, I think there's even a 3.
There's a 3.
Yeah, there's a 3. But I asked you, and you're just like, yeah, it's not bad. And I'm like, well, that's not an endorsement.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's about at all, but yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I think a lot of those, and this is a history lesson for me, or a reminder, a flashback of Blockbuster when they would sell their old stuff.
I like that.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite things is I went to rent a movie. I can't remember what it's called. It had Mark Wahlberg in it. I didn't even know who Mark Wahlberg was at the time.
Was that Fear?
No.
Because
no.
I didn't know who he was at that time.
I didn't know who he was in Fear either, but there was a movie around the late 90s that he was in, and I go to rent it, and this was like when the movie was like $4.99 to rent because it was a new release, and they're like, you could buy it for like 99 cents over there. And I'm like, what? I'm just like, yeah, we ordered way too many and nobody wants to rent them. So
I'm curious what movie it is now.
I'll have to look it up during the podcast, but yeah.
That's funny.
All right. Well, this is the Utterly Useless Podcast. I am the lone star of the podcast. I do not have the Schwartz, but I do like throwing raspberry jelly at people. So to my right, the person who is possibly sniffing some air because he didn't run things properly, the President Scroob of the podcast, is Timmy.
Oh,
Timmy.
Hey.
He gets his butt on backwards. It's always good.
And then somebody who I've caught a couple of times playing with their action figures or dolls. To my left, my brother, the dark helmet of the podcast, Jeremy.
I've only had Ninja Turtles. And yes, I played with them all the time.
Lone Star.
All right, merit badges. What do we got?
All right. So I will start us off with my merit badge. And I don't know about you guys. Well, maybe it's just because I just don't want to look weird. And I've already gotten like weird looks at people. I'm ordering food like a normal person merit badge. And so I've kind of been working through some gift cards that I've been been given as a teacher, and you'd say this is what you like, and you get a whole bunch of them. So I had like almost $100 worth of Chick-fil-A gift cards. So every so often I'll go in and like grab 3 sandwiches because do you know when you want Chick-fil-A the most is on Sunday.
Yeah.
And so I'll grab a couple of them and throw them in the refrigerator, and then I can have a Chick-fil-A sandwich on Sunday, and it's okay. And so the first couple of times I did it, whoever was the teenage attendant or orderist or whatever, I would put my order in there. Do you want any sauces? And I'd say no. And they like looked at me like, are you broken? are you a broken individual? And so I'm like, I don't like this look that I'm getting. So the past couple of times that I've gone, I will order my thing. I'll be like, yeah, could I have 3 Chick-fil-A sandwiches? Like, any sauces? And I'm like, yes, I will have 4 Chick-fil-A sauces because I do like Chick-fil-A sauces.
I try to act normal. What do you do with these Chick-fil-A sauces?
They're in my refrigerator.
Well, anytime you want, bring them over here. My kids devour Chick-fil-A sauce.
And then, of course, I'll be like, could I like have like 1 ketchup? And that's like the one that I actually use.
That reminds me of, oh, man. Oh, it was a Simpsons episode. What is he trying to buy? I think he's trying to buy fireworks, Homer.
Yeah.
He buys like beer, he buys porn, and then he's like, I'd like illegal fireworks. He's like, oh, you want illegal fireworks? That's what that reminds me. Oh, that's funny. Oh, having to blend in with society. All right. Well, my merit badge this week is the Dr. Frankenstein merit badge. Because if you don't...
Went
what?
for a roll in the hay?
Yeah. If you two aren't aware, something's different about what's in front of me now. I have my computer back in front of me.
Oh.
My laptop.
I need this to be explained because I think I'm in the process of doing the same exact thing you're doing.
My laptop very quickly, like I got a bad battery in it, and eventually, like I should have taken it when I was under warranty, but I become a hermit, and that's my fault. So I bought a battery and I replaced it myself, and it's back to being a laptop instead of a desktop.
Excellent.
So I am so happy now. It goes with me to places instead of just sitting on my desk. So
just out of curiosity, because that's exactly what I was like, I'm just going to leave it as desktop. I have like a beater computer that I bought used because you killed my other computer just by like merely
by bringing it up.
just merely by suggesting that it's old.
Oh.
And so I was like, yeah, I was going to resign to it. And then my battery is even worse than I think yours is because it'll be plugged in and it'll be like, I'm not even plugged in.
Roll
like,
a D20. See if I'm going to survive.
Exactly. So what I have to do is I have to pull out the plug, put it in a new one, wait, hit the power button. Nope. Pull it out, put it in back in the original one. Nope. Because it's a MacBook Pro, I'll take it over to the other one. And then it's finally like, and then it will flash like oh yeah, my battery is completely low. It's like, how is it possible? You've literally not been unplugged. How? So just out of curiosity, because I'm getting ready to replace the battery, and I was watching a couple of YouTube videos, and it looks very time consuming and delicate.
It's very delicate. I didn't find this one time consuming. There was one little ribbon of that connector that, even though it looks like it's 100% in, every single time, like I didn't put the cover on. I shouldn't have put my cover on the first couple times because I just like, I'm done. I did it. And I should have checked it every time because the first time it wasn't connected. I was like, oh, okay, something's loose. So I like undid everything, put it back together. It worked. But then the battery sign wasn't showing at the top, although it was running off the battery. And so I was like, well, I don't like that because then it's it's always a gamble of like, how much battery do I have left?
Mm-hmm.
So then I went in and wiggled that cord again, and finally the battery thing popped up. So that's the only thing. Otherwise, very simple,
Oh,
I think. I don't know. If you want me to do it, I can do it.
you know what? Because you have that under your belt, I might have to bring it next week.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I can do that. It's alive. All right, Criddle, what you doing this week?
Okay, so recently I went to a back to school night event or a carnival event for my kids, and I'm calling this merit badge the Twilight Zone merit badge.
Do.
So they had a lot of things going on at this event. They even had food trucks there and food stands. And I was like, cool. I saw a churro stand there. I'm like, okay, they're doing filled churros. They say they're authentic, quote unquote. And so I'm like, okay, while my kids are finishing up playing the games and stuff all around, I'm like, I'm going to stand in the churro line. And I stood in that line for about 20, 25 minutes. I saw 2 people get their churros and leave. I saw people leave the front in the line in front of me. And somehow, for whatever reason, the line never moved forward.
Was it like somebody lined up against behind the wrong line or something? Or
No. This stand was completely away from everybody else.
Oh, wow.
And the line never moved forward for 20 minutes, even though people left the line because they were done waiting,
Yeah.
or they got their churros and left.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was just like, what is going on?
So what'd you do?
I left.
You
I
left?
was like, I'm done. I'm out.
Oh, jeez.
I'm out.
They have one job, make churros, and apparently
Yeah.
they can't spin it out fast enough.
I was waiting 20 minutes and the line never moved. And yet people were getting churros and leaving. or people got tired of waiting and they left.
That's funny. You know what I hate more than anything? Because I was wondering, I was like, maybe it's this circumstance where there's a group of people that you think are in line, but they're
Yeah.
not in line. And so people get lined up behind them and they're like, oh, we're not in line. And then it's like half the line has to move because they thought they were in line.
Yeah, this wasn't that case. Like,
Yeah.
it was just far. It was this is the stand that was away from everybody else, which maybe should have been my first clue that I was in the Twilight Zone. But
You just walked through this little,
yeah,
I don't know, thing that took you into the Twilight Zone.
yep, I don't get it.
Wow.
Well,
Spin the wheel.
all right, we have Spin the Wheel, where we're going to have 10 categories of questions, which we're going to spin the wheel, decide who's going to ask each other what. And since, Brett, you had the quote today, you're up first, and you got, could you fight it?
All right. So I got this idea from watching one of my favorite movies of all time, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I have to at least watch it at least twice a year.
Yeah, at least twice a year, huh?
At least twice a year. Oh, yeah. It is great. And could you fight an evil version of you?
I don't know if I could. I don't know why. Because I think that the answer to this question is so if your goodness is on a spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
The further you are onto your side of the spectrum of the good side, that means the more evil he is. And so I think that makes it more difficult. However, closer to the goodness like center and evil center, the neutral, the more likely I think you could beat your own dark evil. That's my 2 cents.
Or you can be like Scott Pilgrim and just
Become friends with
become
yourself.
friends with yourself.
Because I forgot that. So he has. I know the movie, but why can I not remember? There's an evil version of him?
Yeah, because at the very end, after he beats and defeats the final boss, he has to defeat Nega Scott,
Oh, okay.
the evil version of himself.
Man, I need to watch this movie again.
And they ended up just chatting and then going their separate ways.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I could do that way. But if you're talking about actually like we gotta throw some fists at each other.
Fisticuffs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think Scott Pilgrim lucked out because, he's just passive. So
Yeah.
an evil version of himself would be passive too.
I'm kind of interested in the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World
Oh,
spin-off, the cartoon.
because they're getting the voice, the
whole
people,
cast.
the whole cast back together as voice actors. So that's going to be fun.
I'm looking forward to watching that.
That's great. I'm gonna say no. I can't. My evil me would be diabolical, and I don't think I'm that petty or diabolical or can stoop to that level.
I don't think I could find myself.
Yeah, same here. And also just because of they do it in Star Trek, the evil version of yourself would also have a goatee.
Like, is that where Community got it from?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Because, yeah, there is a evil Spock and he has a goatee.
Uh-huh.
So weird. I don't know why I never made that connection. All right, I'm up next, and I got, what would you have done? Okay. This is a simple question, but I think I want more detail into it. If you were Marty McFly and you successfully brought back the Sports Almanac, what would you do with it?
Well, I would not make huge gambling bets because to me, and then I am like a sci-fi like time nerd, I feel as though things would be altered because somebody keeps on making so much money off of one bet or constantly getting every single thing right, which means because one of my favorite, so I like this question because one of my favorite things to do around Super Bowl time is Bill Simmons has a podcast with cousin Sal from the Jimmy Kimmel Show, and they go through all the weird prop bets. And in the early 2000s, there was this weird prop bet that the third string running back would score a touchdown in the game. And it was like astronomical. Like if you put $100, you would have gotten $30,000.
Oh, geez.
And somebody put, basically somebody put like $5,000 on it. And they even said that they, tweeted at him so they're just like, so I'm going to be watching this and kind of rooting for this because I think it's funny.
Yeah.
And the first person in the game to score a touchdown was the third string running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh my gosh.
And it's one of those things where when it happened, I'm like, did that guy have like an almanac? Because it's just so bizarre. Like they do these weird prop bets on purpose just to sucker people in for money.
Yeah. Even if you're putting $1 in there, it's $1 gain for them.
Uh-huh. So
what is that? 5,000?
Yeah.
And what?
I think he ended up winning like a couple million or something like that.
Because what did you say the odds were again?
I can't remember what the odds were. I want to say it was like 1 in 7 or something like that. So for every $100, you would win $700, I think. Maybe it was 1 in 30. I can't remember. It was
something.
Yeah, that would have been 35,000 if
Yeah.
it was the 7.
Yeah. So yeah, it was 1 in 7.
Okay, it was 1-7. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy.
So I think about that because that's what I would do. I wouldn't do the overly, kind of what Biff was doing and betting on these games because I feel as though it would alter everything. But if you just found like these weird bets and just put minimal amount of money where it's just like, well, of course somebody's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, another example, which was just funny, was when I was on vacation to England, there was a bet of this one soccer player for a World Cup was going to get kicked out of the World Cup for headbutting somebody. And somebody put $500 on it. And they ended up winning like $500,000
Oh
or
my
something like
gosh.
that. Because like they're like, what are the odds? He'll get like a red card. He'll get like suspended. He's not going to get kicked out of the World Cup.
Uh-huh. That's funny. What about you, Criddle? What would you do?
Well, my first thought that came to me was, I'll place leisurely small bets, like something here and there. Because I feel like, the Back to the Future effect is, you change something in the past and something changes in the future. So it's just the butterfly effect. So I'm wondering if I were to place a huge bet on one thing, is that going to change something in the future?
Yeah.
So, but if I place smaller bets, it's like leisure. It's like here and there, and maybe just stow it away for like the next 25 years. And you're like, oh, now I'm set. I have millions.
Wow. I've never even thought about how this impacts the future at all. I was just like, I wasn't going to go all in or anything. My concern was mainly like people. Like, how do you know? I want to be, kind of covert about it. And so I would do leisurely bets too, like that. And then also do bets that are blending in. Like if I saw in here that the White Sox beat the Cubs and it's kind of predicted that way. I mean, I could throw in money into that. It doesn't matter the odds. I'm going to win more money. So stuff like that. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
I mean, right now, like if you're doing ESPN picks for like college football right now, they give you a set of opponents facing each other, and then underneath it is a statistic that shows you who's heavily favored to win the game, who's not. I mean, if you were to slip under the radar, like for example, a few weeks ago, Colorado versus TCU, Colorado was favored to lose.
Yes, by 20.
Yeah, and so if you were to place a bet on that, saying, "No, I'll go with Colorado. Let's see what happens." Coach Prime. So, and you could bet on that, and all of a sudden you're like, "Well, hey, the circumstances show."
Yep. Yep. College football Coach Prime. That gets me going, but I will not take that. All right, let's move on. And Criddle, it's your turn. You got what if?
What if smell-o-vision existed? Would you buy it?
No. I think of Ready Player One. Did you listen to the book or read it?
Yeah, both.
Yeah. I know that. So he briefly talks about that some of the worlds have like smells coded into them, and people used to buy the cartridges to make the smell so that you could smell it. But then people were most of the time jerks and would code it to smell like crap or something like that. And so people just completely stopped using it.
Well, this is for TV, not for the internet.
Would you get that for cooking shows, Brett?
That'd be the only thing, because it'd be like, oh, I wonder what, the Great British Bake Off, tent smelt like. But I would not want to like watch some sort of like gritty crime drama that takes place in New York, because it's like, oh, smells like human feces.
New York. I would be tempted to do it if they could retroactively like do it to things, because there's things in life I've always wanted to know what they smell like or taste like. For example, don't know why Ninja Turtles, their pizza always looked so good.
It did. It was like, it's so weird. Yeah.
And then gummy bears, I want to know what the gummy bear juice tastes like. I mean, sure, it's in my head it's kind of a grape juicy, but
yeah,
who knows? Like those kind of things I have questions about. And so I would turn it on for certain things and I'd turn it off for others.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay. Brett, you're back up and you got there's a typo here. Kiss, marry, kill.
All right.
I accidentally typed in kids. Kids, marry, kill.
Oh, boy.
That changes everything.
It does.
All right. I was trying to come up with the hardest kiss, marry, kill situation for at least you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're so kind.
So, kiss, marry, kill Andy Dufresne.
Okay. I thought you were going to have my kids for some reason.
No, that's not mean. Ted Lasso.
Okay.
Jake Peralta.
Killing Andy Dufresne.
Ooh.
And Jake Peralta. And, sorry, what was the other one?
Ted Lasso.
Oh my gosh, those two are tough. Andy. Okay. So yeah, Andy Dufresne. First of all, Tim Robbins. I don't know. I'm not a big fan. Like, I appreciate him as an actor.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the character like could embezzle you like millions of dollars. So
yeah.
But Jake Peralta would spend all your money on useless stuff.
That's a good point. Jake Peralta is just a moron besides being a cop. So all the things he does is very moronic. So I am marrying Ted Lasso and kissing Jake Peralta. Thank you for that, Chris.
I'm going the same route.
Okay. I actually had the last one that I had was Andy Dufresne, because I'm like, I don't know. Like the first two, I'm like, oh yeah, easily popped in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Ted Lasso, Andy Samberg's Jake Peralta, and I'm like, who else?
Now, if you threw in like what is it? One of the characters from Supernatural.
Yeah. I was trying to think of mine.
I could have Dean Winchester.
If you did like Dean and what's his name? Caffrey.
Oh yeah.
From White Collar. And I'm trying to think of who else that I really, really enjoy. I can't think of it right now.
Beardsy.
Chuck.
That is mean. I don't want to kill any of them.
There you go.
Wow. Congratulations, Tim. You did something that I could not do.
So we'll save that for the next one.
Brett, what would you have done on your Kiss, Marry, Kill?
I mean, Andy Dufresne is a criminal, so I mean, sorry.
He wasn't a criminal until he went to jail.
Exactly.
Get busy dying.
And then I would probably say you're right, because Jake Peralta would be fun, but you'd come home from work and you're just like, hey, he's like, guess what I bought? I bought 500 pounds of gummy bears, and you're just like, why? Because I've wanted to have. And I can also just picture like the camera like zooming in, because I've just wanted to have 500 pounds of gummy bears.
Yep. With his like very animated head.
Exactly.
But you come home to Ted Lasso, he gives you biscuits.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, Ted Lasso would take care of you.
Yeah.
I just don't know why his wife would ever. I think she said he was too good for her.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Anyway, my turn. Random question is what I got here. And so this is going to be a what if. What if you had just one get out of jail free card? So if this could allow you to attempt to do something or do something. Now, if you don't get caught, you get to keep it still for the next time. So like if you wanted to rob a bank, or you wanted to, I don't know, do anything illegal, go streaking across for some reason a sports field, what would you try to do?
One get out of jail free card.
Yep.
I don't know if I'd do anything, because the guilt would just be like.
Even if it was just for funsies, like all was forgiven, like
Okay.
at the end of it, like so if you got caught, and you're like, you got me, and they're like, oh Brett, or oh Criddle, oh you guys, and then you just walk away. I think I would try and rob a bank.
I think I would, for my conscience sake, counting cards in Vegas.
But counting cards isn't illegal.
I know, but if you get caught, though, you get banned.
You get banned from the casino.
But if this is a get out of jail free card, you're like, you got me.
Yeah,
We're done. I just wanted to try it. And again, that's the whole. It's not counting cards to me is a strategy. It's not. And I don't think people should be punished for that, but they are.
No, it's just the right to refuse business is what they're utilizing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if I got free, like, what was it? I just do something weird. I would just like walk into like, a fan store or whatever, put like on a couple of jerseys and a hat, and just like walk out. And then if they just go, oh you, and then I just keep walking.
Man, like, busted, you're caught. The police meet you.
Like,
Like, here's my card.
here's
All
my
right,
card.
that
All
was my
right.
one shot.
See, I was thinking you'd go behind the counter of a Chick-fil-A, make yourself a sandwich, and leave.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to make it. I want it to be made for me. I just don't want to have the Chick-fil-A sauce.
See, I would look at this as like an experience, because I'd want to plan it out, because this would be just so fun of trying to rob a bank and then see if I could pull it off or not. I mean, whether or not I keep the money or not, that's a whole different story. I don't know. Probably won't keep it, but it would be fun just to see if I could do it somehow.
So would you have like,
Or even
code
just
names like
Yeah.
Montreal?
Montreal. Or even, what is it? Or even try to have a high-speed chase. That'd be fun.
Hey, that would be fun.
With the minis?
Yeah, with the
Mini
minis, exactly.
Coopers?
Mini
Ah.
Coopers, yep.
Ah,
in California, and go into that little water, whatever, spill off. All right, last one here. We have Criddle, and you got Lick Off.
You're out for a leisure walk in the pouring rain in an alley of dumpsters, and you come across a soaked donut.
I like the visual of all of this.
Oh my word!
Because
what?
just the water and the rain and the sewer,
as the rain
alley.
cascades down.
What kind of donut are we talking? I don't know why this matters, but I want to know. Is it like a pink donut? Is it like frosting with sprinkles on it, or is it just a glazed, boring?
Let's do a glazed Krispy Kreme donut. Something.
Okay.
I don't know, just a plain, whatever your favorite donut is, that's what it is.
Okay, it's a chocolate Denver donut. There we are.
There we go. You see it sitting on top of the dumpster. It's been pouring rain. There's other stuff around it.
It's on the dumpster. Okay, I don't think I remembered where it was. So it's on top of a closed lid dumpster.
Open
Open. Oh,
because it's soaking wet.
I know, but I was thinking like the dumpster was closed and the donut was on top of the lid.
Well, in this alley, all the lids are open.
Oh, gosh.
Do you know? So was the most horrifying thing I've ever seen. Like in the most recent weeks, I was out for a walk and it had been raining, and close to where I live, there is a Walmart, and I could reenact. I knew exactly what happened. A whole bunch of Walmart employees just sat out by the wall with some probably cheap donuts, but they left them there, and it rained, and these were those brown cake donuts, and the rain basically looked like it made it. If the bag of donuts had not been, or the box had not been there, I would have assumed that it was some horrific diarrhea explosion. But upon probably closer examination than I probably should have, I was like, oh, these are donuts that were just destroyed by the rainstorm.
Now, how close of an examination was this?
I did not put my face close to it. It was
Did you
just
do the sniff test?
Nope, didn't even do a sniff test. I just kind of like walked closer, and I was like, because it looked from a distance, it looked horrible. The closer I got to it, I'm like, okay, not as bad, but still looks bad. And then I'm like getting a little bit closer, kind of like a little sniff. I'm like, I think I would have smelled something by now. And then I get closer, and then I see an actual donut that has just been obliterated by rain, but it still had its circular with the hole in the center. So,
And did you think of licking it?
no, I was just like, I mean, first off, it wasn't a Denver chocolate one. It was the nasty, just plain boring cake donuts.
Oh. Okay, so I guess this is it's been a while, so lick off. All right, Brett, you're starting us off with this.
All right. So, So just out of curiosity, how much garbage is in this dumpster?
And what does the garbage look like?
Obviously high enough that you can see the donuts.
Okay.
Is it in bags?
Some of them are torn bags. Some of them there's fully sealed bags. Some of them are stretched so thin that you can see what's inside.
What is this on?
I mean,
is this on like exposed garbage, or is this
Exposed
on
garbage.
But it's not on a plastic bag.
it's not on a plastic bag.
That's worse. Because I don't know why in my mind it can like.
But you're just licking the top.
I
You're
know,
not
but in
licking-
my mind it could go and suck in all the crap. You know, it's just
smells and all.
What is it called in cooking? It's with meat. You, what is it? You soak,
Marinate?
It's like marinating and that stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna go $20,000.
Okay, money
$20,000 donut.
money for licking, and okay. Last question, probably. It's a circular donut,
Yeah.
I assume. Well, because we get to choose our favorite. But how do you lick a circular donut? How do you want us to lick this circular donut?
Just like the top 360.
Oh, okay. Great. Okay, I'll go to 15,000.
I like I like this because I was worried that it would have to go. There would be some like tongue exposure in the center of the donut. So I'm actually.
You were worried about the exposure to the
Yes,
hole.
because I have you.
A little rat pops up and licks you back.
That and also like in dumpsters or whatever, when you get close to stuff that has had garbage in it for a while, it emits heat and it emits like funk.
Oh, let's call this a heat rain.
Oh, it's a humid day.
Humid day.
Oh gosh.
Ooh, okay, I'm gonna go 12,000.
I'll go 10,000.
8,500.
7,000. I know I'm going to get this.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what dollar I can get it down
Trash
to.
just smells so bad. Like
Ugh.
This will be a relief.
Let's see.
Uh,
Can I wait for a day that I have a cold?
I can't smell anything.
I can't smell. I can't taste anything. they're
Just
like
put things on over your eyes.
they're like you like everything around the donut except for the donut.
Oh, okay. That I thought that felt bumpy.
why does it taste like metal?
Tastes like pennies in my mouth.
4,000,
3,000,
2,000.
1,000.
Okay, you can do it.
Okay. I wasn't going much lower, so I was kind of surprised you went that low. All right.
I mean, I've never won or lost a single one of these, so
You haven't?
I think maybe like way back early in the day with Taylor, I may have lost one, but like,
Yeah, Taylor gets grossed out by random things that I never saw coming.
but yeah, I have not won or lost one of these in a while.
Yeah. Did you win the one that was like the marathon? The road where
No,
the
that was
marathon-
my idea.
That was your idea?
That was my
Oh,
idea. Yeah.
Okay. Then never mind. I took it from my own in my head.
All right.
Fake news.
All right. So we have our fake news segment where we are going to have three rounds. Each round consists of me reading three headlines. And one of the headlines is true and the other two are fake. You have to decipher which one is the true. And this one I went a little bit happy with a certain theme on the first one. So here we go. Burger King CMO secretly detests the fast food franchise food. Detest the fast food franchise's food.
Okay.
Number 2, Burger King dishing out 20 slice tall all cheeseburger in Thailand. Number 3, class action lawsuit against Burger King. Plaintiffs claim they don't have it their way.
I mean, in all honesty, the CFO, or I thought you said CMO.
Yeah,
or whatever.
CMO, yeah.
The CMO, I mean, I think anybody working at Burger King is already dissatisfied with anything that they produce. So, I mean, that's just a given. So I'm going to, because what was it? A couple years ago, I was like, I haven't had Burger King in a while. Maybe I'll try it. And after trying it, I was like, okay, let's remember this and never try this again.
I know. Why is Burger King still around?
I know. Because they don't have 99-cent Whoppers anymore.
Yeah, that was their saving grace, is their Whoppers and their cheapness.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with the last one.
The class action lawsuit?
Yes.
I'll go with option number 2.
The 20 slice tall all cheeseburger?
I feel like that's something somebody somewhere would do.
I think it would, but he said Thailand, and that's just like, I could just see like people in Thailand that's like, we don't care. Like, your burgers mean nothing to us. Also, you're Burger King.
Well,
All right, locked in.
Uh-huh.
All right, Criddle's on the board.
Oh,
It is gross. It's literally 20 slices of cheese between two buns. Why is that a thing? I don't know. All right, round 2. Atlanta man attempts to rob nail salon, gets ignored by everyone. Number 2, Idaho woman arrested for animal cruelty for her numerous attempts to crossbreed a cat and a dog.
they are that bored.
oh, come on. I would see that more like Wyoming. than-
Wyoming again. In Maine, a fisherman hasn't stepped foot on soil for 20 years.
Huh. I'm going to do the Maine fisherman because I think there is going to be like one of those like, well, I live in the dock. I have a houseboat. Like, obviously, I haven't stepped on dirt land.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where I'm going to go with that one.
Like technicalities.
Exactly.
Oh, man. I will go with option number 2. That's the
Idaho woman?
That's the Idaho woman. What was the first one?
Atlanta man attempts to rob nail salon, gets ignored by everyone.
I could see that one too.
Okay, let's go with option number 1.
All right, Criddle's at 2-0.
Congratulations.
Let's see if we have somebody getting all 3.
So just out of curiosity, did you just like weigh like the whole, like I lived in Idaho. I like,
Yeah,
this would be more of a Florida man type of a thing, not an Idaho lady
Florida,
type of a
Wyoming.
thing.
yeah.
All right, Criddle, nobody's gotten 3-0, so let's see if
Wow.
you can do it. A lot of pressure now. I was just wondering what you're doing. Sorry.
I'm getting something ready.
Okay. All right. Round 3. In the small town of Boring, Oregon, they hold an annual File Your Taxes Early festival.
That's a boring event.
Okay. Out of all the places that have a place called Boring, like I don't see, like Oregon is just weird. I don't see it being boring. I could see Kansas, like Boring, Kansas. I could see Boring, North Dakota, Boring, Montana. I'm just offending a whole bunch of states right now. Boring, Oklahoma, but Boring. Okay, sure.
So I want to tell you just right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
So all 3 of these have city names in them. All 3 of these are real cities in these real locations.
Ooh, okay.
So so that's not any of the fakeness.
Okay, so there is a Boring, Maine. Gotcha.
No, Boring,
Or
Oregon.
Boring, Oregon. Okay.
And actually, when I was looking some of the stuff up of like old weird cities,
Mm-hmm.
there is multiple Borings amongst other states. And I was like, that's interesting. You guys just really like, hey,
It's like Paris, like,
Yeah,
Paris,
there's so many
Texas, Paris, Kentucky,
Mhm.
Paris, whatever. I don't know if they have a Paris in Utah, but whatever.
all right. Bus 666 no longer goes to Hell, Poland after protest from Christian conservatives. Number 3. Truth and Consequence, New Mexico holds an annual Truth or Dare competition that puts Burning Man to shame.
I'm not feeling too hot about these options.
No, I'm probably like nixing the correct one, but I don't see people in Helsinki, Poland caring. I mean, their biggest problem is like, being invaded. And they're like, who cares? It's just a bus.
Are there a lot of conservatives in Poland, though?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
Doesn't
anything.
feel right.
I don't know anything about Poland.
Nah, neither do I. But I'm just, judging from, World War II and kind of where they're currently situated. That's the least of their concerns.
Yeah.
But let's have the 666 bus not come here anymore. Let's see. I mean, I'd be more like, let's not have a nuclear bomb land here. Let's focus on
I'm
that.
anti-nuclear bombs hitting
Exactly.
us.
Yeah.
What was option number 3 again?
Truth and Consequence, New Mexico holds an annual Truth or Dare competition that puts Burning Man to shame.
I'm going to go with that one.
Dang it.
You guys can pick the same one.
I know, but to make it exciting, I choose a different one.
Oh, okay.
Well, good, because you're up 2-0. And so I should go first.
Okay. So we have Boring, Oregon, or
Or Hell, Poland.
Hell, Poland.
Yep.
Oregon's kind of weird. So maybe they do that. All right, let's go with Oregon.
You did not go.
3-0.
It was Bus 666 no longer goes to Hell, Poland
Oh, wow.
after protests from Christian conservatives.
Wow. Yeah, I was getting ready for this.
It did not happen. But Truth and Consequence, New Mexico. So obviously I looked these up. They named it Truth and Consequence, New Mexico after a show in like the 50s.
Oh, really?
Called Truth and Consequence. And they said, hey, if you'll come film here, we will change our name to Truth and Consequence after the show. And it stuck.
Wow.
And it's never changed. And so, and the thing I was reading is like the longest like city gag essentially continues. I was like, wow. But yeah, and there was like a Boring, Maine. So when you said Boring, Maine, I was like, nope. Because I'm like, that's another one.
I mean, if I was going to visit some place that was weird, I would actually go to the village in Spain that painted their entire village Smurf blue to
That's
celebrate the Smurf movie.
That's funny.
That's what I'd do, but yeah.
All right, now it's time for our March Madness of most rewatchable TV shows. We've been on a hiatus for a while, but now it's time to come back and continue this. We are on the last bracket of the first round, so we still got a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah, we do.
But let's get this going. So first off, we have 30 Rock versus Boy Meets World. Boy Meets World for me is nostalgic.
Oh, yeah.
30 Rock as an adult, hilarious. It's funny because the ratings on these, I'm trying to remember. The right side, I think, is the user rating.
Yeah.
30 Rock is a 92 and Boy Meets World has a 90. So the users tend to like these shows.
I know where I'm going.
I know where I'm going. I want Criddle to go first.
I think I know where you guys are going, but I've never seen 30 Rock.
You've never seen 30 Rock?
No, but I've seen previews.
How dare you?
I
I
know
saw it
you,
in the TV guide.
you know, that paper thing. I'm just going to go with Boy Meets World.
Okay.
I like Mr. Feeney. I like Corey. I like Sean. I like Topanga.
I hear they have a really popular podcast right now.
Oh, really?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Topanga and
Sean?
I think it's Sean.
Because they've had a falling out with Corey
Oh, did they?
for some reason. Nobody knows why. But, I mean, I like their dynamic. It was just TGIF
Oh, yeah.
in the 90s
Oh,
for
yeah.
me. I mean, something about their chemistry, about all the characters, Eric even, and just the whole blend of everything, the misadventures of these kids growing up.
This was TGIF?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
So I mean, to me, this is like peak '90s stuff, like with Family Matters, and you know, I mean, it's one of those shows that just even today, it's still to me rewatchable.
Yeah. TGIF, now that you say that, they used to be aimed a little bit more at youth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, because like, what was it? Well, I remember TGIF, when it still had Full House, they introduced Family Matters, and then they had the dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like that was like peak TGIF, and I believe Boy Meets World was at the very tier end of TGIF before they like did away with it.
And then I just remember this. I don't know why I remember this because I didn't watch it very much, but there was those two, I want to say twin girls.
sister.
I want to say that is the two black.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like all these shows are very youth focused, except for I think one of those you mentioned could be adults too. I forgot.
That was the '90s. Like
Yeah.
kids stayed up late on Friday nights because it was the weekend.
Because it was, thank goodness it's Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, kind of surprised, but yeah, I'm going 30 Rock.
Wow. I'm surprised that you're going 30 Rock. And I will tell you, I'm going 30 Rock too, because as much as I enjoy Boy Meets World, if you can make the worst comedian in the entire world
Yeah.
funny, like you've got something. And Tracy Morgan is the worst comedian, I think, out there. Well, probably not out there, but one of them. And he actually is legitimately funny on 30 Rock.
Yes. I will say
Interesting.
people worth watching the show for is Tracy Morgan, and then Alec Baldwin is funny, and then Kenneth. Well, I don't know his real name.
Yeah.
And then like Liz Lemon is funny. Tina Fey.
Yeah.
But I don't know if does she in your mind make the show worth watching?
It depends. Her and Alec Baldwin's
Yes.
banter or whatever. But the one I think that is kind of sneaky is the bald guy that's kind of like the co-producer with Tina Fey.
Yeah. Also, the writers, specifically the one with the trucker hat, he's hilarious.
Oh yeah, the trucker hat guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then all their guest stars are surprisingly so entertaining. I dare say, without really thinking about it too much, that 30 Rock's guest stars are well written, probably better written than most other shows that have guest stars.
Oh yeah. Like when I remember seeing a commercial and I saw Matt Damon was on it, and I was like,
Yes.
I don't know. And then you're just like, no, it's good. It really is good. it's like he's funny, and I'm like, really? And then
this was Matt Damon wasn't known for being funny at all.
exactly. And I saw the first Matt Damon episode was the one where he was trying to date Liz, and he said that he had Sky Timeout or something
Sky
like
Law.
Sky Law, and
My wife quotes him probably once a month at least with his Sky Law. It's really hard to be a pilot. There's 3 buttons you push: to take off, fly, and land. Yeah. All right. So 30 Rock moves on. Next one, White Collar versus Westworld.
Oh, this is so easy.
So White Collar is 96 for Rotten Tomatoes, users 92. Westworld is 94, Rotten Tomatoes, users 82. So that's interesting that I thought Westworld was much more of a favorite for people. Like I thought a lot of people really were into it. I know you were into it, Brett.
Well, so both White Collar and Westworld has one thing in common. Eventually, one of their seasons really sucked. And White Collar's season that sucked was the one that was at the very tail end because USA just decided, hey, we're just going to wrap up every single thing we're currently doing. Just fast forward to the very end. And so the last season of White Collar was completely rushed and kind of not good.
Yeah.
Westworld had I will tell you, and here's my breakdown of it. Westworld has the absolute best first season. I mean, this beats Heroes' first season. This beats Lost. Yeah, I've never seen Lost, but I'm pretty sure Lost is pretty good.
It's not. I will be that person. Lost is not worth 1 minute of time.
Okay.
Sorry, all the Lost fans out there. I'm not yucking your yum. I just can't stand it.
24's first season, Westworld beats all of their first seasons. And then the second season is a train wreck. And then the third season is an airplane crash on top of the train wreck. And then the fourth season is Godzilla coming and like spewing flames on top of the train wreck airplane crash. And that's why...
You know what? At one moment during that description, I started thinking that there was all these airplane crashes and Godzilla did come. I was like, that'd be entertaining, kind of. But now I was like, oh, wow. I really lost focus of what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So, yeah, White Collar, like up until the last season, is so rewatchable. Westworld's first season is fantastic. But because I know what comes next, I can't vote for it. So it is White Collar all day, every day.
What do you mean what comes next?
Well, the second season, third season, fourth season.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Have you seen any of these, Criddle?
No.
Okay.
I've heard Westworld is fantastic. Like the first season, when it came out, it was just dazzling. Like everyone seemed to like it. White Collar, I've seen like in passing, like with like, it's on Netflix or it's somewhere, and I'm like, I've heard that
It's on
White Collar's okay.
Well, I don't know where it is currently, to be honest.
I don't know. This is years ago.
Yeah. But it's always either streaming on Hulu or Netflix, I feel like.
Yeah, it's one of the two.
Give my 2 cents on these.
Okay.
Westworld, I watched the first season. I never got bit by the bug.
Oh, okay.
So I just stopped it there. I did like the performances by I'm so bad with names.
Anthony
Cyclops.
Hopkins?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Cyclops.
Oh, yeah.
James Marsden.
James Marsden, and which is also in 30 Rock. And then Ed Helms. Is that his name right? Not Ed Helms.
Not Ed Helms.
Ed.
What's his face? What is it? I swear it starts with an H. Is it not Burns?
No,
That's
I
another
can't
guy.
remember.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I know who you're talking about.
I enjoyed them. I just wasn't into the story. Don't know why. Nobody did anything wrong. Just me, and the story did not click.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't ever dissuade anybody from watching it because it was just a me thing. White Collar, I have watched that show. It is the only show that I've watched all the seasons. Probably, there's only one show I've watched more seasons of or rewatched the whole entire show, and that's Supernatural. And White Collar is number 2. I probably watched it 4 to 5 times.
Wow.
I love White Collar. I love the suaveness of McCaffrey, McCaffrey. I had a man crush on Neil McCaffrey for a long time. I probably dare say it, could be revitalized by watching another season of it. It's a great show, and it has Tiffany Amber Thiessen in it, and of course, that
Kelly Kapowski.
yeah has bumps that up another notch. So I really liked it. I really liked it. I hate USA for doing what they did to it at the end, but so that's where I vote.
I go white collar
All right.
Clean
wash.
for Kelly.
for Kelly.
Beep, beep, beep,
Instead of-
beep, go Bayside. Beep, 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 beep.
Instead of for Frodo, for Kelly.
You have my sword. You have my whatever. And you have my Kelly Kapowski.
You have my pom pom. Zach, fight him. Or Zach, you can't do it. I'm going to call Slater for this.
It's all right. I'm saved by the bell.
Okay, I thought I read this wrong, but okay. The next one is The Last of Us versus Third Rock. I was like, wait a minute, we already did. Third
Yeah, I
Rock.
know. I read that wrong also. So I think this is an easy one.
Now have you seen all Third Rock? I mean, not Third Rock. Blah 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 blah. Last of Us. And have you seen any of it?
I've seen both.
You've seen both.
Yes.
Ooh,
Okay. I want your input first.
you go first.
Oh,
You are on the spot.
okay. So, The Last of Us, I thought was more boring than than The Walking Dead.
You know what? Like season 1, Walking Dead versus obviously season 1 of Last of Us.
I think they're even.
Yeah, they're kind of even. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Zombie movies. I mean, zombie shows need. I mean, it's funny that Sorry, sidetrack here. Walking Dead season 1 was just like the biggest phenomenon. Like where everybody, it was just like, Westworld to a point. It was like, I don't know if I dare say if it was Game of Thrones ish. This is probably more like Westworld.
Yeah.
And yeah, I went wah.
Like, I just didn't think there was enough,
Zombie action.
zombie action, whatever they call it, fungus.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough for me.
Yeah.
Honestly, like this whole, I'm almost starting to get a little fatigued of the dystopian
Oh, yeah.
thing. Except when I watched the first episode of Twisted Metal,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought that
Yeah.
was fun.
I know. I've been looking for ways to watch that.
Like that's like a comedy dystopian, which is like,
Uh-huh.
oh yeah, this is a little more refreshing than like The Last of Us, where it's so like kind of depressing almost.
Yeah. No,
So-
I just see what you mean there.
So I mean, there's that, and then but the third Rock from the Sun was just that to me is the '90s. You got Joseph Gordon-Levitt. You got what's his bucket?
I'm trying to remember. I know who you're talking about.
John Lithgow.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. French Stewart.
French Stewart. I mean, the incoming message from the big giant head.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm stuck in a box.
Yeah. I mean, I think if I were to rewatch that again today, I still think I'd be laughing a lot. And we've said it before in the past, comedy lends itself to rewatchability. And I think that they just have a great formula going. I'm inching to to Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, so Last of Us, I will echo what you said. I was actually presuming, because I got terrified, because I know like this kind of fungus spore essentially drives, ants crazy, and then it shoots out their head, and then it bursts their brain open. So I was actually adding to what was going to happen, and that like horrified me, because I was like, I did not want to see this on screen. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to give it a chance. And then what I started doing is there's a YouTube channel that would compare and contrast between The Last of Us TV show with the video game. And I thought that was really fun, because he would tease what was going to happen up into the next episode, showing game action from the video game and kind of like setting expectations. And the sad thing is The Last of Us could have been good, but they decided to go heavy on the drama and light on everything else.
And that's what Walking Dead did.
Yep.
And I think that's what hurts massive rewatchability. I mean, if you could have seen like some sort of like Resident Evil like transformation or something like that, or more fighting instead of cannibals, because
if they did like that Las Vegas one, you know, I can't remember what it's called, the one that's on Netflix.
oh yeah,
By Abrams.
The bank job or something like that. Yeah,
That, like, I think you were kind of getting to that where like there's different levels of zombies and where there's a pinnacle of zombie and he's intelligent or something. Yeah, I wish it would have gone in that direction opposed to drama direction.
yes,
Too much drama.
And to pull away from the rewatchability factor, just as a good show in general, that would make it better because it's not that. I mean, I'm the only one here that probably hasn't finished The Last of Us because I got to the mall episode and it just fatigued me.
oh yeah. Well, and spoilers, there is that episode in Twisted Metal, but I will tell you, Twisted Metal's worth it.
So I just got, and the fatigueness had nothing to do with what they were trying to push. It just was a really slow episode. Like nothing really happened. It was backstory. And
I think it was just a filler episode.
yeah,
And I about cashed in on that. I was like, do I want to keep going?
like if you have to pump out a whole episode to tell somebody's backstory that doesn't really entertain you, don't do it.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't entertaining in the slightest.
No.
All right. I think we're all going in Third Rock.
Yep, that is correct.
Okay. All right. I love Third Rock. By the way, I did watch it within the last 10, 15 years, the whole way through. It was still great.
Holds up.
Holds up. I love it. In fact, I think I got a lot of more of the jokes than I did when I was a kid.
I like John Lithgow. I think he is just
Oh, yeah.
a treasure.
And not only that, I like the fact that Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character is the oldest character. Like his character's supposed to be older than everybody. And so watching that play out as an adult, I'm like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. This is an interesting duo here, or versus Drew Carey's show versus the Whose Line Is It Anyway? This is interesting because, I mean, have you guys both watched Drew Carey's show?
I watch both.
Yeah. I mean, that's just it was a fun show. I don't know what to say about it. Like,
I had no idea that Craig Ferguson had a late night comedy show. I just enjoyed him being Drew Carey's boss. I enjoyed Mimi. I enjoyed what's his face from Office Space and whatnot. I enjoyed
who from Office Space?
the
yes,
neighbor.
yes, the neighbor. Okay.
I can't pronounce his name, so
I
I'm just
don't
going
even
to say
know his
what's his
name.
face from Office Space.
I just remember the guy who was on Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah, that
He
guy.
eats the whole has the whole Subway 7-foot sandwich or whatever.
And then
Hot dang.
what was it? The other day, for some reason, I wanted to watch the dance off on YouTube, and I looked it up. I love the
the Let's Do the Time Warp Again and
Yeah.
versus like Shake Your Boo thing.
yeah.
Whenever I hear one of those songs, I immediately think of the other one because of that episode.
Rocks.
Oh yeah, Cleveland Rocks.
Cleveland
and then
Rocks.
also Drew Carey's like the girl in the mix.
Oh, Mimi.
No, the other girl.
Oh yeah, her.
The more attractive girl.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because these people like Craig Ferguson, the guy from Office Space, the girl, even Drew Carey's brother that's
Oh,
in
yeah.
Fargo. All these people, and Ryan Stiles is in it too.
Yeah.
Except the Ryan Stiles is probably the only person I don't go, hey, it's them from the Drew Carey show.
Yeah.
Even Craig Ferguson that's the guy from the Drew Carey show.
Yes.
And so like I told you, and I think I recommended watching, oh gosh, what is it called? Shrinking. That's what it's called, with Jason Segel and Harrison Ford.
Okay.
So Jason Segel's next door neighbor is the girl from,
Okay.
and so I was like, hey, it's a girl from Drew Carey show. So
I feel like Mimi is like the Newman of the Drew Carey
it
show.
really was. It really was. That was just a great show though.
I'm going Drew Carey show.
Yeah, I mean, I like Whose Line Is It Anyway, but whenever I think about Whose Line Is It Anyway, it's Colin and Ryan and everybody else.
Yep.
Well, I just feel like there's too many singing segments in Whose Line.
Oh yes, that
I mean,
does
the
get
only
old.
best part about the singing segments is when they're doing the fake, like, Time Life commercial.
Oh yeah, that is a good one. I swear, like, and I think they finally, with the reboot that they have done recently, the Scenes from the Hat is I feel like every episode is a must.
Yeah.
Which is good because it wasn't always the case. It became more of the case, I think, over time. Yeah, there's certain segments that I like. I like the one where they put your hands between like their armpits and they act for them. But it's funny because going into this, I thought I was going to pick Whose Line Is It Anyway. But then I started thinking about Krill. You're like, I forgot what you said, but I was like, I think rewatchability, though, watching the same improv over and over, even though I think there's, dare I say 10 seasons? I don't know. Someone like that.
Whose Line?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
something.
And then, do you know what I do? Whenever I think of any other cast members, it's Wayne Brady. Is like, oh yeah, he's good. And then I think Ryan Stiles or Greg Proofs, and I'm like, oh yeah, the two-headed monster from Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And then I always just stop and go, why him? Why his voice?
Yeah.
Why couldn't have been Colin? Like,
Well, that's funny because remember Dungeons and Daddies, how they said, why wasn't that Ryan and Colin instead of Greg Proofs? I was like, yeah, 100%. I think this is an interesting example here. Whose Line Is It Anyway is too comedic. And so therefore, potentially not as rewatchable because there's no drama / story.
well, that, and for the comedy for Whose Line Is It Anyway, they're trying to swing for the fences at all time.
Yeah.
And you can tell that they're trying their best, and it's just like either the setup is not good or the idea is not good, and they are like swinging and missing and failing horribly. And so the good moments are evened out easily by the bad moments.
I'm kind of surprised by my answer with this.
Yeah,
What are you guys going for?
I'm going for Drew, and I thought for
Carey.
sure you were going to go Whose Line.
Oh, yeah. You're going Drew too, Critter?
Drew Carey.
Yeah. I thought I was going Whose Line Is It Was too until we started talking about it. All right. This is a mean one.
Oh.
How I Met Your Mother versus Big Bang Theory. This is like usually should be the final round, but thanks to the random generator, it randomly assigned out of 1 through 64. These two meet in round 1. So,
Wow.
We need to approach the committee that the selection committee
Yeah.
about this and
yes.
protest it. But
Yeah. Like, hey, you're putting two number ones next to each other.
oh,
I don't even know where to begin.
so here's where I'm going to begin. Because I'm trying to figure out which one I want, and so I'm going to begin with the last
I
season
knew that's where you're going to start.
of How I Met Your Mother sucked.
Versus the last season of Big Bang Theory.
Okay, before we go on, Big Bang Theory. Is there any bad season that sticks out?
Let's see.
I don't think there's a bad season. I think it starts off at peak level and then it slowly goes down a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Just a little bit.
I think it every episode, of course, has its up and down depending on how good it is.
I feel as though when Leonard started acting normal, because I think
Because of Bernadette.
Well, when they started to get into relationships almost
Yeah.
is when it was like,
so
what?
well, not only when Leonard started acting normal, but or
Less creepy.
are we talking?
Oh, not Leonard.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm thinking of
You're
Wolowitz.
thinking about Howard.
Yeah.
It's
Because I mean, all four of them are great, and then you have Raj, who until he's drunk he can't talk to a girl, and then he gets broken, and then he does it all the time, and it's just like there was you want to see characters evolve or whatever, but there's certain things that's like, no, you just shouldn't do this. Like this is you can't just like whatever. And then Leonard started acting more normal, which he still was a geek, but then he just started acting like the only person that was left really was Sheldon.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended like, and you describe it perfectly, Tim. Like, it starts off really high and it just slowly, just progressively just goes down. Whereas like How I Met Your Mother, there are bad seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And there are bad love interests.
Yes.
Like chick from Scrubs is the worst love interest.
Yep, I would agree with that. I mean, I want to just make sure that we're all on the same page of Big Bang Theory, though. It starts out high, and it does not go down too much, but it is going down in a downward trajectory.
Yeah.
I will say with Big Bang Theory, though, I think the part that sticks out to me where it takes the biggest bump, and this is of nobody's fault, is when Wolowitz's mom dies.
Yeah. Yes.
And that was, she did die in real life. And I can't believe how somebody who's a side character, in my opinion, probably gave the biggest dive in the show.
Well, yeah, because then Wolowitz had to, like, they changed the character. He moved in. They kind of like paused the Wolowitz-Raj friendship.
And that was a big one, I feel like.
I mean, the interesting thing was what they tried. You could tell that they were grasping at certain things because then they started bringing What's-His-Face from the comic book shop in. And they had him play more of a prominent, Stewart, more of a prominent role. And, I didn't realize that, you could say that it was something that was unplanned, but they needed the Raj friendship, but they also had to
progress the story.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I didn't really like what they did with Raj near the end. Like, he's going, like, I don't even know how he ended, to be honest, but like, I just know he kept on dating these two girls for a while. And then I don't know how it ended up with, I think he ended up with the dermatologist or something like that.
I don't know.
I forget. I've watched like the first 5 seasons numerous times. Past that, I probably watched them maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
And it does go up to what, season 13 or 14?
Yeah. But no, that was a good show. And then, so How I Met Your Mother, like you said, there's a lot of bad seasons, but I will say that there are some episodes that are just so, they outdo Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yeah.
Completely.
The bracket.
The bracket is a great episode.
Fake baby. I was there. It's fake baby.
I like just some of the randomness. Like, the first episode that me and Brett watched was the
road trip with Marshall and Ted.
And I walk 500 miles. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just they are great. And if this was a line chart, like you said, Big Bang Theory starts out high and it gradually goes down, and it does have its little ups and downs, but I'd say they're pretty darn close to the actual line itself, the median line.
Consistent.
Where How I Met Your Mother, it does start out, I think
the first
lower.
3 seasons, it starts off lower, but second season gets higher. Third season is about
but like
high.
Episodes are more volatile. They go up, they're further from the median. They just go poof, poof, poof. And then there's certain seasons like And I think because of that, I will choose Big Bang Theory.
See, and I'm gonna make Tim make the decision. I think I know what his decision is.
I don't care which one goes on. I don't. I want either to win.
I think I know where your decision is, Tim. So I'm just gonna go in and say I choose How I Met Your Mother because of the amount of seasons between the two. It goes back to kind of like the UK model of TV compared to ours, where, the UK is like, we'd rather you be wanting more and we disappoint you by ending the series rather than give you fatigue. And I feel as though that's where Big Bang, because I've watched every single episode of Big Bang. I can't for the life of me recall the last couple of seasons.
How I Met Your Mother is way more memorable.
So,
but does the creation of How I Met Your Father diminish How I Met Your Mother?
I'd have to have watched it, so no.
It did not impact it. In my mind, they're two separate things.
It doesn't exist.
And when I watch How I Met Your Father, I'm always like, was How I Met Your Mother this corny? Like, this feels like a Disney show.
It got canceled.
Yeah.
I mean, Disney show is appropriate because Hilary Duff is in it, and she is a Disney star. But like, it was, that overtop acting of Disney. I
Yes.
felt like that's what it was. But I was like,
That's how it felt with season 1. I never watched season 2.
oh, I didn't even know it made it to a season 2.
Neither did I.
It got a season 2, and then it got canceled.
And the sad thing is it had our favorite guy from Enlisted
Yeah.
in it, the middle brother, who is the main love interest in it, I think, for Hilary Duff. But that's where I left off, so I don't know. All right, Cradle.
Well, I think each show has like really clever moments and fun moments. My favorite character from How I Met Your Mother is by far and away Barney. Just the he's like almost like the Kramer of the show. Just like the things that he goes through, and the quirks that he has. And
So your favorite character is Barney. Yours is Ted. Mine's
Marshall.
Marshall. That's so funny.
but
And then Big Bang Theory. Who's your favorite character?
Oh, jeez.
That's a hard one, huh?
That is a hard one.
I think we'll all land on the same one, I think.
I like Sheldon, but he also gets under my skin, and I would not be friends with him. So it would have to be, what's his face? I've been saying his
Leonard.
name. Leonard, yeah.
I'd say Leonard.
I'd say Leonard. I kind of realized that. I was like, yeah, we're all going to say Leonard because there's no reason to choose anybody else. I
So-
mean, Penny would be, I think, maybe my second choice.
I mean, so yeah, there's a lot of really good moments in How I Met Your Mother. But for me, I think The Big Bang Theory to me moves on. There's so many fun rewatchable moments, especially in Big Bang Theory, like Penny giving Sheldon a gift of Spock with the napkin.
Oh,
yeah, that was pretty hilarious.
I like the ducks on the. You don't have any ducks on your bathtub. I like that episode.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Big Bang Theory for me.
I'm sad and okay at the same time.
I'm fine with it. I knew that's where you were going to go.
Yeah.
I've
I've only seen How I Met Your Mother once, and Big Bang Theory I've watched numerous times.
okay. Breakout Kings versus Evil. Brett, you've seen both of these, right?
I've seen neither.
Yeah.
I've seen the first season of Evil, and then I watched the Elevator Game. And you know what the funny thing is there was I have a subscription to Shudder, a horror network, and there is a movie called The Elevator Game.
Oh yeah.
And I was watching it, and I was like, that was not that scary. And then I had a nightmare about it, and I woke up. I'm like, ooh, that was fun.
My wife doesn't get that when nightmares are fun.
I love Breakout Kings.
I love Breakout Kings too.
It is, and
I like the psychologist the most.
yes, yeah, the guy from
Psych.
well, he's from Psych. He's also from Westworld too.
Oh, that's right. He is. Who is he in Westworld again? I forgot.
He is Ed What's His Face's younger self.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Ed Harris.
That's his name. It just came out of nowhere.
I knew. I didn't even have to look that up.
And you said it started with an H, and you were
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I have to go with Breakout Kings. If Evil would have continued on, I mean,
The
they
same
put
trajectory?
They put it on Paramount Plus, and you know what? You can go darker on Paramount Plus compared to CBS, and they just like I watched the first 2 episodes, and then I heard your reviews and thoughts about Evil. I'm like, I have no interest. And then I watched the Elevator Game. I'm like, they could have done that better.
I think I've seen an episode of the Breakout Kings, just one, because I just kind of watched a little preview while you're talking. I'm like, oh, this looks familiar.
The fun thing about Breakout Kings is the creator is the same creator of Prison Break. And so they actually have an episode where they're catching Teabag.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So that's always fun that you get to go, relive that again.
I'm going Breakout Kings.
Yeah, it's Breakout Kings for me. But I just want to say the Evil, yeah, if they could have stayed on the trajectory and the cliffhanger they left after season 1 and then just leaving that they'd walked away from that whole story. And it's not that great.
Well, what was it? And then when I saw the Elevator Game episode, the so-called evil guy who was doing all this stuff, he's like in like psychological counseling, kind of apologizing for like doing some of this stuff to this girl's family. I'm like, but like, I know I missed a couple of episodes or didn't watch a couple of episodes, but this is not his trajectory.
Yeah, no. yes, in season 2, they focus way more on the love interest between the female and the priest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's dumb. Leave that alone. And they tried to humanize the bad guy
Yeah.
a little bit more. And it's like, no, he's pretty much of the devil. Let him continue that trajectory.
Exactly. I mean, I love when he was talking to that like
Yeah.
white-haired beast or something like that. I thought it was hysterically funny
Yeah.
because it was dark. It was dark humor, but it was kind of also horrific too.
Yes, it was. But yeah, Breakout Kings moves on. All right, next one, Rick and Morty versus Scrubs.
Oh, this is easy.
I will say, and Brett knows what I'm going to say. What am I going to say, Brett?
You like Scrubs until I...
Until you broke the glass with me.
Again, this is why How I Met Your Mother should have moved on.
The second you pointed out to me that every episode has to have a moral and wrapped up by, was it JD?
Uh-huh.
By, bringing up the moral, that show is dead to me. I stopped watching it within like a week or two. And I was like, why do we have to learn something every episode?
Well, because like, what was it? I think I came home and it was out in the early 2000s, and I watched the first season. I was like, it's okay. And then I watched the second season. I'm like, you know what? I like this janitor type of a
And
guy.
Dr. Cox too.
And Dr. Cox. And I'm like, and then the third season, I felt as though I'm like, okay, I can get behind this. And then the fourth season, even though I enjoyed the fourth season, that's when I noticed it. And because I think I got home when the first two seasons were out. And so I'm just kind of catching up, renting it from the library. And by the time the fourth season came out, I'm like, okay, I don't think I like this anymore. And then when the fifth season started, that's when I turned to Jeremy and just said, did you ever notice that they, at the very beginning of each episode of Scrubs, so here I am going to break it for everybody else. So you're welcome.
If you haven't watched already, pause now.
But every single episode starts off with a comedic situation that transitions generally to a moral dilemma that the staff will face during the 17, 18-minute mark episode. And then, you have to have the closure of the episode where JD is walking through and we're learning a lesson and we're trying to improve ourselves, and everybody, even the zany Dr. Cox and janitor, has learned from certain things. And then of course it ends with a little joke at the very end. And it just, once I saw the formula for the show, I'm like, I can't watch this anymore.
Yep.
So it's like a grown-up Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a show that you're rinsing and repeating the exact same formula over and over again, you need to get way more creative.
Yeah.
That just ruined it for me, because then yes, you could figure it out. I mean, I don't know who told you about it, Brett, but the comedy movie formula for an issue happens about what is an hour and 14 minutes in.
Yeah, it's the hour and 13-minute mark or hour and 11-minute mark,
where something comes in and ruins the comedic fun of it more or less, and all of a sudden they're dealing with some kind of negative consequence, and they're having to deal with that, and they have to wrap that up. And it's true that's out there. So I mean, back when we used to watch movies on DVD players, you'd look down at the little DVD player and be like, oh, we're getting close.
Yep.
And then soon enough, boom, hit somewhere around the hour and 12, 13 minute mark,
Yeah.
17 minutes. And you're like, sure enough, here's the conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I mean, Rick and Morty's not perfect. I will say there's two handfuls worth of episodes that I love and will watch repeatedly. And then there's a lot of them that I will never revisit ever again. So
Yeah.
I think for me personally, Rick and Morty is miss, smashing it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot better than Scrubs.
Yeah, Scrubs is kind of just to me, average. I mean, they do have their good episodes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
They have really good episodes. But this one's hard because, like you're saying, if you were to average out all their episodes, Rick and Morty, they're probably equal to the median line of
Yeah.
Scrubs. And so I'm gonna go Rick and Morty just because I want those knock out of the park ones.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Rick and Morty. I've seen all of Scrubs multiple times.
Really?
I'll just go Scrubs.
Do we yuck your yum?
No,
Okay.
I don't mind learning.
I can't I can't wait for you to like go home and was like, I wonder if this is true. And then you come back next week and you're just like, Brett, you just ruined Scrubs for me. I've thrown all of my DVDs away.
They are all on DVDs.
All right. Last one for this round. MASH versus The Boys.
Two totally different
Yes.
shows.
Both comedic, both completely different, and both like I'm sure MASH for the day had an appropriate level of humor.
Well, and you can say, I will go back from what we said about Scrubs is there is,
Yes.
especially on the Alan Alda episodes, there's always, those are the worst episodes.
Yeah, if you see it directed by Alan Alda in the opening credits, just
skip.
skip it.
Just go to the next one.
A warning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like, to me, MASH, especially for the first 4 seasons, season 5, when they decided to like take Houlihan and have a love interest and driving Frank crazy, like to me, that was the lowest point of MASH. And I know a lot of people love Colonel Blake, and Potter kind of ruined them. I enjoy Potter. I find Potter, I like his straightness, but I also like his like Leslie Nielsen, where he can say something straight faced, which is absolutely hysterical, which is completely different from Colonel Blake. And I think, and I'll say I have not seen The Boys. I need to get around to watching it, but I thoroughly do love MASH. I think it has high rewatchability value, except for the Alan Alda episodes, but especially the what is it, Captain
Flag or Colonel Flag.
Colonel Flag. Love the Colonel Flag episodes.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines that Colonel Potter has ever said is, he's just like, Colonel Flag is like just straight face, just looking into oblivion, and they're just like, what is wrong with you? Like, this is funny. And he just goes, my mom had me watch the Three Stooges, and every single time I cracked a smile, she punched me in the stomach. And he's like, yep, that'll do it.
My thoughts on MASH, very similar to yours. I think the difference between Colonel Blake and Colonel Potter, the difference between those two, Colonel Blake was, I think, you've met that person in your life that immediately you just like Criddle for me. When I met Day One Criddle, we were good friends, I feel like, right off the bat. And then there's other people that you have to warm up to.
Yeah.
And they take time, and that's Colonel Blake. And once you warm up to him,
Colonel Potter?
Colonel Potter, yeah. Once you warm up to him, then once again, you're also great friends. So it's just the difference between the two. And I think Colonel Potter took a little bit to find his character.
Yeah.
Or the writers did. The Boys, very dark. I feel dirty watching it.
There are dirtier episodes than others.
I just mean, like, I know what you mean by that, but like also like some of the evilness is just, you feel dirty.
I think that's what sets it apart from every other comic book show and series. I mean, they poke fun at Marvel, they poke fun at DC, and I mean, the Homelander is just like, I mean, this is like straight up evil Superman.
Yes.
Minus the kryptonite, no kryptonite. I mean,
because they were leading up in season 2 that there was some kind of kryptonite, and then you find out there was. And
spoiler.
So yeah, it's a spoiler. Sorry, my bad.
So I mean, it's very dark especially for a comic book show.
Yeah.
But like, man, is it rewatchable? There's 3 seasons, 3 or 4 seasons?
I think there's 3.
And plus, there's a spin-off coming.
Oh, is there? What is it about?
Well, there was a spin-off called like Diabolical. That's a cartoon
Oh
version.
yeah, I saw that.
And then there's a spin-off that's coming at the end of the month. This month, it's called Gen V, and it takes place close to the end of season 3 or 4, whatever season they're on right now. The boys.
Yeah, I think they're at the end. They just finished I caught up at least with the end of season 3 with Soldier Boy. I think that's the most.
That's I think, was that it? That might have been it. I don't remember.
And Soldier Boy's played by my boy,
Mm-hmm.
Dean Winchester, a.k.a. Jensen Ackles.
And he kind of plays like a Captain America figure in the show.
That also is a little corrupt.
That is also corrupt.
But yeah.
Like the thing that makes the boys, I think, interesting is they make the characters compelling. Like, I mean, with a Homelander, who's the Superman figure, his weakness is not being loved by the public,
or by really having a good emotional connection with anybody.
Yeah,
and he's always seeking that emotional connection out.
and so I mean that's what makes him interesting. Is it's the non-soups that make him. That's his weakness. I mean,
I also
he
think
wants to be
it's
loved.
funny that they poke fun at Aquaman so much.
Oh my gosh, yeah, with
like the fact that he's
the deep.
the deep, that he's just so out of the whole group, he is the one that's picked on all the time, just like how Big Bang makes fun of Aquaman, and I don't know, I assume everybody else does too.
The deep and Timothy the Squid.
Yes. That episode was very conflicting for me.
It was weird.
Because The Boys is so dark, I can't say it's rewatchable. I can't. I'm a one and done with that. I might watch an episode down the line here or there, but I'm not watching a full season.
But I cannot think of one episode in the entire series that I would go back and be like, yeah, I need to rewatch this one.
I would agree with that.
So does the boys? So you say it's dark. You leaves you feel dirty or whatever. Remember that one TV series with Kevin Bacon?
Oh,
with
yes.
The cult?
Yes.
Is it similar to
Is
that?
that like the fall? No.
Yeah, the following.
The Following. That's
yeah.
what it is. Yeah. It's a lot like that, but throw in like Rick and Morty kind of crude humor.
Okay.
Like, I've heard in the next season of The Boys, they're going to be bringing in kind of an Iron Man character.
But yeah, I would say Rick and Morty meets The Following.
Okay.
That's a weird mix, but that's what it is.
I'm going to go with MASH.
Yeah, I easily go with MASH because
Yeah.
it's the only one I've seen.
Just thinking about The Boys is kind of sickening a little bit.
Yeah, why is that? It's good, but it's sickening.
Again, I think it's a one and done.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't think at the very beginning of the show I'd like Dennis Quaid's son in it. I didn't know who he was, an actor.
He was in
And-
the Hunger Games, I think.
Was he?
The first one.
Huh, I don't remember him.
But yeah, he kind of is like, do I like this guy? Do I not? I don't know.
And
then-
I think I just settled with him. I think somebody could have been better than
Yeah.
him, but he was fine. I did like his love interest though.
the Starlight.
Yeah, Starlight. I did appreciate her character, everything. The Deep, I appreciated him.
The A Train, I mean,
Yeah.
had an interesting, I guess, thing going on with him. With his he has the super speed, and then he got jacked on all the serum to get faster, and then his heart couldn't take it, so he had heart problems.
The one part of the stories that I didn't like, or the characters I didn't like the corporation's characters.
Like what's his name? The stereotypical or the typecast villain. The
guy that's from like the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Geo, I don't know. his
I
name.
didn't really care for him. I didn't really care for also the assistant that, once that girl left, she took kind of over.
Wasn't what's her name? From Cobra Kai. I can't remember her name.
The girl from the 90s that was
Yeah.
pop culture. Yeah, she
Yeah.
was the CEO.
She was the CEO.
I can't think of who she is. Is she the girl from Babysitters, The Adventures in Babysitting?
Possibly.
Brett, do you know who that is?
No.
Okay. I guess I could just look it up on IMDb and be like, who is the person on The Boys? season 1, and it'll tell me. So that's what I'm doing as of we speak right now. So it is, nope, it's not her. Yeah, Carl Urban's in it, Jack Quaid, and still looking. And
I mean, if you don't like blood,
oh yeah,
this is not a show for you.
yeah, I can't find her quickly because she's so far down, I guess, because of there's multiple seasons, and she was only on season 1.
I'm looking at the Karate Kid. She's in the Karate Kid. Is it Elizabeth Shue?
Oh yeah, she was in Ventures in Babysitting, wasn't she?
Yep, it is Elizabeth Shue. Yep, that's her.
Okay.
Oh,
Elizabeth Shue.
I didn't realize. I forgot about this, but he's in a side character. Guy who is on Supernatural as their surrogate father is in it. Why can't I think of his name?
Bobby.
Yeah, he's in it.
Okay.
He's a politician, though.
This is essentially like an evil Justice League.
Yep. Trying to do good.
Doing
sorta. Good in the public's eye.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like this. They play it off like it's a pharmaceutical company product of superheroes.
That's really true. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
So, but yeah, I got to go legging towards the MASH.
All right, and that finishes us off with round 1. And next week we will start with round 2, and hopefully we can get this narrowed down to the most rewatchable TV series of all time that we've watched, at least. Mm-hmm. Now it's time for our 1 recommendations.
All right. So it was brought up earlier. I have a couple weeks ago, I was house sitting my parents' house because I was thinking about taking a 1-month subscription for Peacock. They get it for free. So I was watching all of Twisted Metal. And I will tell you, so episode 1 that you've seen because it was available for free at one time, fantastic. The show becomes okay for a while. Episode 5 is fantastic because it brings Sweet Tooth's dark sense of humor in full sight of everybody. And it is one of those things where it's just like, I thought this guy was going to be a menace. I thought this was going to be like, he was going to be horrific. He was going to be, a Hannibal Lecter type of a person. And you have Will Arnett voicing him in this gigantic actor's body. And it just works so well. And then episode 8 sets up what, if you've ever played the Twisted Metal game, sets up the face-offs, and then I will tease you, if you like the first 10-15 minutes of episode 8, that's what it's looking like they're setting up for season 2 to be.
Ooh.
It is, I cannot wait for season 2.
Now, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Is Axel in this at all? Remember Axel? Big wheels?
They allude to Axel at the end of episode 8.
Ah.
So I
liked Axel.
So if you remember the premise at the very beginning of episode 1,
mm-hmm.
where there's the milkman and he's going to go on this run that is near suicidal or whatever. It's all a setup. I mean, for example, he succeeds, but it's all a setup to having this grand apocalyptic battle royale. And that's going to be what season 2 is going to be about.
So kind of like what the governor did in Walking Dead with the zombies.
Yes.
That's cool.
Has your wife watched it?
No.
Okay.
Have yours?
No, I'm trying to decide if she'll want to watch it.
Yeah, I guess I should.
I guess I need to screen the rest of them before.
Yeah. They're not scary by any means, right?
No.
Okay, because then my wife's in probably.
I mean, the scariest episode I would say is, I think, episode 2 when they first meet Sweet Tooth.
I guess they're not scary. I guess because it's not a horror film, so she only has problems with like Stranger Things season 4 was too much for her.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's like actual horror stuff.
Well, but I mean, for my one, it'd be the violence and gore
Oh.
too. So it kind of depends on the level.
Gotcha.
I'll tell you, Sweet Tooth is the character that we need more of. Like it is the character that I didn't realize that was the character in the video game. And I'm like, yes, and voiced. And I will tell you, episode 8, you get the laughing clown missiles. I like squealed with joy when I heard the laughing clown missiles.
Is Warthog in it at all?
I don't think so.
I played Warthog, Sweet Tooth, and Axel. I feel like the most when I played that game.
So
I need to get a month subscription just to watch it.
Yep,
oh yeah,
me too.
I think it's definitely worth the 8 episodes.
All right. I'll give my recommendation. My recommendation, I don't, it's not like anything you have to run out and go do. And you probably have already done it because I'm behind on times with some Amazon shows. So I'm watching Jack Ryan, and season 1 was meh. I'd say season 2 is much better.
Okay.
I enjoyed season 2. So I'm going to recommend, if you want to, there's not really a reason why you need to watch season 1. It's a good show. It's good. I'm not saying it's bad by any means, but if you want to start off at the top, season 2 so far, I haven't gone to the next season, so obviously I just wrapped it up last night. But season 2 is a really good episode, a really good season, whatever, can't speak.
So just out of curiosity, what's better? Because I've not watched this one or the one I'm going to ask, but I've not seen Jack Ryan and I've not seen Reacher. Have you?
Reacher's so good.
Oh, yeah?
Reacher, I would recommend that. I mean, I think I already did in this podcast.
Yeah, I think you did.
Reacher's just like, it's investigative with a lot of brutal fighting, like getting things done. Like instead of doing the whole, like, we're going to figure this out. And there's like a detective that is trying to hold him back. I think the detective is one of the Breakout King. It is one of the Breakout King guys, which I thought when I first started, I'm like, it's the guy who is a thief.
Okay.
The black guy that's a thief. So when it was him and he's playing like like almost like a Harvard kind of graduate that moved to this podunk town because he has a backstory and all that. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I know him from Breakout Kings. I don't like him being like a Harvard, like nerdy kind of guy that it lives by the rules. And then you got Jack Reacher, who's the exact polar opposite. And he's always trying to pull Jack Reacher back. He's trying to bridle him. And he's most of the time not successful. But at the end, I'm like, okay, I think I'm on board with your character now. Like that you can play this guy. It just had that. For you, Criddle, you might be able to jump into him a lot better since you don't know him so well in Breakout Kings. But highly recommend Jack Reacher. Jack Ryan, I think I had a problem with Jack Ryan himself because, I haven't seen all the Jack Ryan movies, which is a big flaw on my part. I haven't seen Clear and Present Danger.
I think that's the best one.
Haven't seen
Patriot Games.
I have seen Some of All Fears, Hunt for Red October. Is there another one?
There's a Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit.
Oh, I haven't seen
Yeah.
that one. I don't probably ever want to unless somebody tells me to.
I have a digital copy.
Is it good?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
It's what's his face? It's
Chris
Chris
Pine.
Pine.
Yeah, Chris Pine.
Which, in my opinion, the only good movie he's ever been in is, he was good in Star Trek.
He was good in Wonder Woman. I liked him in Wonder
I
Woman.
didn't really care for him, but
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jarnathan.
But my biggest complaint with Jack Ryan is that he is too assertive. And in Alec Baldwin's Hunt for October, he's not very assertive. He's more of he's a pencil pusher kind of guy. He's very hesitant to do anything. And in this one, he might as well be Jack Reacher because he is wanting to get things done. He's not, he hasn't been out in the field in forever. And now he was never as a field as a CIA agent. He was just in the Marines, his whole backstory of, the chopper going down, breaking his back or something like that and being medically discharged. And so now he's in where he's at with the CIA as just a researcher. But now he's always out in the field and he's always just wanting to go and break faces and all kinds of things. I'm like, in season 2, I'm like, okay, I'm on board with this because I don't know why, but season 1, they literally plucked him out of the bullpen and said, okay. And then he started fighting, and it's like, I don't know. I didn't like it.
I'd be curious what they're going to do, or if they're going to ever do it. But there was a movie, I know you're not up on the actor, but there was a Tom Clancy movie on Amazon featuring Michael B. Jordan that I can't remember what it's called, but at the very end, it set up Rainbow Six. And I think making Rainbow Six into a movie, I think that would be a downfall. It should be a TV series.
A miniseries.
Yeah.
Yep. Do a Band of Brothers. Yep. Miniseries.
Amazon miniseries.
Yeah.
So, okay, my recommendation, I probably did this a few weeks ago, but I'm going to do it again. It is college football season.
Woo woo.
I am on board with it this season. It's been awesome. I've been watching a lot of games. I look forward to a lot of the games tonight, like Notre Dame versus Ohio State. Ohio State. But a lot of good games coming on, and I'm excited for playoff season.
And Bama's already lost.
And Bama's already lost.
It
Wow.
makes me happy.
If you look
And
at
Clemson lost, right?
the SEC does not look good this year.
No.
So they're tanking this year,
And
which is
how
fine.
many of the Pac-12 are in the top 25?
Pac-12 has got 5 teams or something, 4 or 5 teams.
Yeah, something like that. I think it's
Utah, UCLA, USC,
Colorado,
Oregon,
Washington.
6.
6. Yeah.
I mean that probably the
Stanford's
most.
dead. Nobody knows where they are.
I mean,
In Oregon State, aren't they ranked?
they're ranked 2.
7.
Oregon State 7. So Pac-12 is going down with a bang.
Yeah, they are.
Um,
That's why everybody's looking forward to this week because it's finally it's
conference play.
It's conference plays now. Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. Utah, UCLA tonight.
Utah's going with their second string, well, technically third string to start the season quarterback. Which?
Yeah. Then Ohio State versus Notre Dame. That's going to be the big game tonight. Colorado's facing Oregon, which I think Oregon's going to destroy Colorado. Yeah, I'm excited. Just football season is just so fun, and I've just enjoyed it so far.
Yep, me too. And
Just taking
as
it
much
on.
as I will say this, I don't dislike the University of Colorado. I don't like all the fanfare about
Deion
Coach Prime.
Sanders.
I think they jumped too fast in the ratings, or they beat TCU, but when you look at TCU, they lost a lot of key players, and so really they were not the same team.
And then
that was last year.
also nearly losing to Colorado State, which Colorado State struggles against everybody.
Colorado State's a Mountain West team,
Yeah.
so I'm like, they should have.
I'm an alma mater that's my alma mater,
What
Colorado
one?
State.
Colorado State.
Yeah. So I was rooting for them.
Oh, I didn't know you went to Colorado State.
I didn't go there per se. I went online.
Oh, okay.
So,
So
but yeah, I was going, go Rams. I
It was
stayed
a-
up till 12:30 watching it.
Yeah, me too. It was a double overtime.
Uh-huh.
Good game.
Yes, college football.
I didn't really care who won the game. I was just like, I wanted to see who would win.
I wanted Colorado State to win. And I want Oregon to annihilate them tonight.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Well, I want it to be a good game. I don't really want ever annihilations.
I mean, I think the SEC is finally starting to show their weakness, and I think Georgia is going to eventually, because I don't think they're very good.
I haven't paid attention to Georgia this year, but I'm tired of their being.
I think they're
Reigning champions.
They're overhyped. So I'm hoping that their schedule is really weak. They don't play someone ranked for a while.
In Utah so far. I was looking at their whole season. Obviously, since we just said 7 teams are ranked, they're playing, I think, every single one of those teams this year.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, we'll see ya.